So for a while now, I've been referencing both in my community post as well as in my last fish room tour about redoing the 245-gallon South American Cichlid tank. But just for a reference, let's go ahead and take a quick look at the old tank. Let me go ahead here and walk you through all the changes in the tank. The tank used to have a center overflow, but we now have removed that. So we did also put a glass plate over the original holes that the overflow drained through and cut new overflows in the back of the tank. So after all of that, we did add a DIY background to this tank. It is very similar to the foam backgrounds I've made in the past. So look forward very soon to a video coming out on that, and I'll show you how to do that. Turned out to be a pretty cost-effective way to do it. It's definitely something you can save some money on if you don't want to buy the expensive backgrounds. Aquascaping wise, just like before, we do not have any plants in the tank. The fish stocking in this tank would just tear those up. I also did remove a lot of the driftwood in the tank. We just wanted to eliminate some of the wood piles in the corners that collected detritus and just go for a cleaner look for the tank. We did also make some cosmetic updates to this tank. I went ahead and built a new stand for this tank. Basically, it is a kind of half cinder block, half wood design. And then I did wrap it with some wood to give it a nice clean look and then painted the wood black. And then on the top, I did keep the toolbox liner for now and then did add a kind of a nice wood cap to it. This tank does definitely give a nice clean look as you walk into the fish room. So definitely really happy with how it turned out. So let's go ahead now and head over to the back of the tank and take a look at all the nuts and bolts. So let's go ahead and start out talking about the filtration system and how I move water through this tank. So one thing I did do is I did incorporate the drains into the actual aquascape design itself. So these are basically covered in spray foam, painted just like the rest of the tank, so you can't really see that they're drains. And then basically what I did here is I just plumbed this into the side of the tank instead of having it come to the bottom like it was before. And then we do have this standpipe to help eliminate the noise. And then in the top of this standpipe, I did drill a little bit of a hole to allow the air to escape and to provide a little bit of a vent. So before we do stop talking about this standpipe, I do want to show you the sound. Right now you can hear a little bit of sound right now just from the water hitting the bottom. But let me go ahead here and I'll pull the standpipe out and we'll really hear this go. So if you can hear the gurgling sound, that's what it sounds like without the standpipe. And then once again, we will stick our standpipe back in. So definitely a lot quieter. So that's worked out pretty well to keep it quiet. And then it just drains all the way down here and drains into this filter floss with a bucket of bio balls, and then just has some holes in it. And then the same thing goes for the other side as well. It just drains over here and drains into the bucket of bio balls. And then the return is just for the J-bow pump. And then we do have it returning here. I tried to make that kind of blend into the aquascape as well. Definitely really happy with the aquascape and how it turned out. You really don't see a lot of the plumbing and the white PVC in this design. So pretty happy about that. So we do have this tank plumbed on a auto water change system. So that does go off a few times a day for about 2 to 3 minutes a piece. So incorporated obviously into the auto water change system and everything here is a 110-gallon tough stuff sump, which I do have a drain drilled into. And that's where all the filtration happens and where all the heaters and everything else are kept. But other than that, the only piece that I'm still trying to work on getting quiet is this part where it actually drains the water into the sump. And then the last piece of filtration we are going to talk about here is this J-bow water pump. So that a lot of people do use these in saltwater systems as kind of a fake gyre pump, but I do use this to circulate the detritus and everything through the system, so it is captured by the filtration. Lighting wise, we do have these two shop lights up here, and they're just connected to the piece of wood that hangs off of the ceiling, and this provides some great light for the tank. Definitely makes it look nice. This is really a cost-effective solution. You can just get these on Amazon and they're linkable together. I found that the two of them for this tank actually works out pretty well, keeps it pretty well lit. So I do want to kind of walk you through some of the fish a little bit here. So there are some fish we did move out of this tank just kind of due to aggression issues, etc. But I want to show you guys the Geophagus. We both have the Geophagus altifrons. This tank also is home to the Geophagus heckelii. I did get these fish from Dan's Fish, and they have actually put on quite a bit of size since I got them. So definitely pretty excited to see them full grown. So this tank is turned into a little bit of a geophagus community tank. We do have 3 of the Altafrons along with 3 of the Heckelei. We also have the Rio Nene Severums. So I've had this pair for quite a while now. It was actually the first time I went to Pleco Paradise in Chicago back in November of 2018. So these fish have actually done pretty well for me. Really enjoy them, actually. Quite colorful. And then we still have the Mesoheros ultramaculatus in here. I'm kind of curious how this guy will turn out, but definitely looking forward to seeing him grow up as well. So let's go ahead and talk about a couple of the fish that we did move out of this tank. We did put the tetras and the Thoricles maculopinus into this 40-gallon breeder. I just kind of thought they were getting lost in this tank, especially the Thoricles maculopinus. So they are definitely coloring up and looking pretty good here in the 40-gallon breeder. Do need to do a little bit of aquascaping work on this tank, but definitely looking for good things from these fish to come. Really do enjoy their colors. Just so you guys know, they are related to the firemouth cichlids. Definitely looking forward to seeing maybe if we can get these guys to breed. Kind of the same with the tetras. Tetras are doing well in here as well. So we are kind of turning this into a little mini South American community tank. The other fish that we did remove out of here are the convicts. I just kind of found them to be a little bit too aggressive, and was really planning to move them on anyway. So they are going to be going to the next auction, and we're going to go ahead and rehome those guys to another fish keeper. But they are also living in a 40-gallon breeder right now as well. So heading on back to the 245-gallon tank itself. So I'm kind of now thinking about what's going to go next in this tank. Definitely want to get some sort of schooling fish, maybe a larger bodied tetra of some sort, but definitely have to do some more research and figure out kind of where we want to take it. So if you guys have any ideas, go ahead and leave those in the comments. Definitely would appreciate your input. So definitely do enjoy how this tank has turned out, and really glad I did take this project on. It was a little bit of work. I had to lift this tank off the stand to rebuild it and everything, but all in all, pretty happy with how it turned out.